Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. You're watching Carl Thompson and today I've got a new fragrance review for you. Now the fragrance that I'm going to review today and just have a first smell of and a first look at is the new Tom Ford Costa Azzurra. Now this is the new fragrance for 2021 and it is in their signature collection. Now obviously 2020 was a pretty poor year for new fragrances coming out and new collections. So 2021 starting off with this fragrance is hopefully going to be a better year for all of us who love our fragrances. Like I said, the new Tom Ford Costa Azzurra is part of their signature collection. Now it seems to be a bit of a trend with Tom Ford fragrances right now where they're moving certain fragrances from their private blend collection to the signature collection. Now if you're not familiar with Tom Ford fragrances, the private blend collection is their more premium product and the signature one is their more affordable product. So this is, I think, the fourth in the signature collection. It consists of, I think it's Beau de Jour, Ombre Leather and a fragrance I haven't actually smelled called Metallique, but I know the Beau de Jour fragrance very well and the Ombre Leather fragrance extremely well because it's actually my favourite ever fragrance because that was taken down from, I think it was Ombre Leather 18 from the private blend to the signature collection, and pretty much it smelt the same, as did Beau de Jour, but with slight changes. Obviously there will be changes when you're moving a fragrance from a premium range to a more affordable range. There won't be certain notes you can use, one being probably ambergris, but I do think there's a small amount of ambergris in the Costa Azzurra signature collection, even though it's a very expensive note. So this is what the private blend looks like. I did have a Google earlier to see if I could still buy the private blend Costa Azzurra and I couldn't in the UK. So there might be still some resellers out there that are selling it, but online and all the big ones like Harrods, Selfridges, you know, John Lewis, all those guys, they're out of stock. So this is the new fragrance. If you did love those, the private blend, you need to kind of move over to the signature, but it's great because it is a more affordable fragrance. I think the 50ml is going to go for £85 and the 100ml probably around the 120, 130 mark. Again, I couldn't find it online, so I am kind of guessing at the exact price point right now. So, but it will be around that because Ombre Leather and Beau de Jour and all the other signature collections are that sort of price range. So I am wearing the fragrance, but I'm going to give myself another spray of it. And immediately it transports you into a place of the ocean, the sea, you know, or a lot of these blue fragrances or the aqua fragrance, they have a lot of salty notes too, and water notes and aqua notes and fresh air and all these sort of notes that make you transport you back to like the Amalfi Coast or to the Mediterranean or somewhere in the summertime with hot weather, and that is exactly what this fragrance is all about. I would wear this in the spring, summer. It's probably not for me a fragrance I would wear during the winter. I would pick Ombre Leather as part of the signature collection for winter, and I would move to Costa Azzurra signature collection for the summer. It is a very fresh fragrance, and I think that comes from the sort of citrus lemony opening notes. So you do get that freshness, which I love, especially when putting on a fragrance in the morning as a day fragrance, because the lemon citrus notes, they always kind of give a bit more of an uplift, a bit of a, okay, I'm ready to go. It's fresh. It's like it wakens you in some respects. It's very much like green fragrances where you've got like the minty notes. It just kind of, it wakens you up, and I love that about this fragrance. And then you get into what it's described as like a citrusy, woody fragrance, and that was the same as the Costa Azzurra private blend. And you are getting driftwood, which is a very like salty dry wood, but you're also getting you know, like salt, sea salt as well. I think they mention in the actual notes on the Tom Ford website there is a seaweed note to it as well. So it's giving you a citrusy, woody, salty fragrance, which I think works extremely well. And there's some great fragrances out there that combine these sort of notes, and Tom Ford are doing it in a great way with the new Costa Azzurra signature collection. Now the fragrance is, I would say, quite subtle, you know, with Ombre Leather or say Tuscan Leather or maybe even Noir de Noir, for example, in the, and a lot of the oud fragrances in this private blend. They're very punchy. The sillage is high. You know, you're going to last for probably 8 to 12 hours and some with those fragrances. Whereas this, I feel that it's much more discreet. It's much more subtle in its sillage, in the projection of the fragrance. So I would say that this one would probably last 6 to 8 hours. I haven't really tested it in that respect. I'm just guessing on how long the fragrance will last. But based on the Costa Azzurra private blend that I've used quite a lot, and based on the ombre leather in the Signature collection, they tend to last around sort of 6 to 8 hours sillage. So, which is like a projection of what you're going to get. So if you walk into a room after 6 hours of spraying the fragrance, are people still going to smell it on you, or is it still going to project? So that's what I think about the fragrance, and it is a great fragrance, you know, especially for the price point. I mean, you're looking, the Signature collection from Tom Ford is such a good collection. I don't really know a price point or a brand that do it as well as Tom Ford for that price range, you know. And I'm just wondering if they're going to move more of their private blend fragrances into their Signature collection. I think it's a great move because it just makes their fragrances a lot more affordable to the everyday buyer, really. Not everyone can afford private blend fragrances because they are a lot more expensive. So it could be a move into more fragrances coming down into the Signature collection. I really hope that is going to be the case. There's no real information out there to say which ones are going to move down, and I don't really know if there's any kind of correlation between which ones do get moved down, because Ombre Leather 18 was a private blend and it moved down after maybe a year or 2 years into the Signature, and Beau de Jour was only out for a year in the private blend before it moved into the Signature. But Costa Azzurra, I think, was in the private blend for at least 6 years. So I don't know why that's kind of moved down, and I don't know if it's because they're trying to build a portfolio of the Signature ones, where you've got, say, a leathery fragrance in the Beau de Jour, and maybe you're bringing down like more of a fresher, bluer fragrance. Maybe the next one's going to be one of their green fragrances, their Vert fragrances. Who knows? So it is an interesting evolution of the Tom Ford Beauty fragrance brand, and I'm really interested to see where it's going to evolve moving forward, and what collection is going to stay in the private blend and which collection is going to stay in the Signature, or going to move to the Signature collection. And also, they seem to move ones from private to Signature, so maybe in the future are they going to kind of design a brand new fragrance for the Signature collection? Who knows? But I would say that if you do like sort of fresh, subtle, aqua, water-based, sea salt, you know, transporting you to the Amalfi Coast or the French Riviera or the Mediterranean, then Costa Azzurra is a great fragrance for you. But also there are another couple of good fragrances that do smell quite similar in the Tom Ford collection, and that would be the Mandarino di Amalfi and also the Neroli Portofino. These are two fragrances that I know really well, and I absolutely love them. So if you do like the Costa Azzurra, or you do like those fragrances, then add Costa Azzurra to your collection. So they are my first thoughts of the fragrance, and I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it informative. Do remember to subscribe. I've got plenty of other fragrance reviews out there, and also I do fashion, grooming as well, skincare a lot. So do subscribe and come back, and again, thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and take care. Have a good day.